Hello. So our presentation is on alleviating the negative effects of deforestation on society. Um, I'm Morgan Garrow. The other people in this project are Randy Doe, Deanna Francis, Nikolai Karlov, and Jake Newman. Our thesis statement is to develop some means of slowing the process of deforestation as it's depleting the Earth's forests and land and threatening to destroy the biodiversity in many regions of the world. Deforestation is the conversion of permanent destruction of forested areas to non-forest land for use such as arable land, pasture, urban development, logging areas, and wasteland.
Okay, I'm Deanna Francis, and I'm going to talk about the causes of deforestation. There are three causes: land development, timber and lodging, and agricultural production. On the right is a list of causes of deforestation in 2006, and the main producer is cattle. Land development is usually caused by the urbanization or industrialization, and also lowering foreign debt. It's also known that in 41 countries, the loss of forests is closely linked to deforestation, which is mainly for building materials. This is a graph on deforestation land availability from Rebecca Lindsay, and it talks about the deforestation hectares in Africa, Asia, Central, South America, and Oceania. Wood and timber production are the cutting down of timber for wood products and fuel. 14% of deforestation is caused by this, and the biggest producer of timber is the Amazon, which popular fuels are sawwood, veneer, and also sometimes mahogany and teak. Lastly, agricultural expansion is usually driven by poverty, and it's one of the leading factors of agricultural deforestation. A lot of it's done by cattle ranching and soybean production. Palm oil, which is used in countries such as Malaysia, are used for biofuel and food and beauty products, and destroy tons of forests. And lastly, 12% of global greenhouse gas emissions are caused by deforestation around the world.
Okay, and so some of the negative effects of deforestation, like Deanna just said, include increased greenhouse gas, change, and loss of biodiversity. So increased greenhouse gas emissions and climate change are caused by deforestation directly. They've resulted in direct damage to the environment, which has led to severe climate change in all parts of the world, in mostly every region. Climate change has affected both the western and eastern hemisphere. It's caused drastically low temperatures as well as drastically high temperatures, and this has resulted in massive environmental disasters like tsunamis, hurricanes, tornadoes. These are a direct result of the amount of carbon collecting in the Earth's atmosphere. And so on the left right here is a figure of a 2016 graph of the percentage of carbon emissions in the atmosphere. The red portion right there is 47% of forest degradation carbon emissions caused by greenhouse gases, and then 20% by tropical forest clearing totaling about 67%. And then on the right is a future graph dating in 2026 showing 60% and 27% tropical forest clearing. This is an estimated graph if the current patterns of deforestation continue. Of deforestation is the loss of biodiversity. Deforestation causes destruction of thousands of forests, and this is homes to many different animals and species and millions of ecosystems. And so the removal of these ecosystems and habitats results in a loss of species, all kinds of species, including animals, plants, and fungi. So this ultimately leads to reduced biodiversity, and it's very consequential because it does greatly affect the environment and ultimately us and society. So diversity and variety of species is
All right, I'm Nikolai Karlov. Counteracting deforestation is essential in repairing the forest and the damage that we have done already. reforestation and replanting of secondary growth forests and deforested areas, utilizing the alternate fuel sources in place of lumber, forest preservation and conservation, incentives to farmers and local landowners to produce sustainable crops and utilize conservation methods, and state protection of forested lands are all ways to conserve the forests. And reforesting and replanting, secondary growth forests are essential in providing carbon sequestration, which maintains the natural water cycle, and as well it provides a means of fast and increased habitat restoration for many wildlife varieties, creating increased biodiversity. In 1 year, a new forest can, given optimal rainfall and conditions, it can take up to nearly 3 tons of carbon per hectare per year, or about 11 times that of old-growth primary forests. This is a map showing the neotropical forest growth potential in northern South America in the Amazon. This map depicts the above-ground biomass that has the potential to grow over the 20-year period. The dark green shows high recovery potential, and the purple and yellow areas show low forest recovery potential. Another way we can conserve the forest is by utilizing alternate fuel sources. This would include burning wood as a primary fuel source and actually stopping that use of wood and substituting in newer, cleaner alternatives such as renewable energy, solar, wind, and hydropower. While it could be expensive, government subsidization would be a good way to jumpstart that initiative. Biomass energy could also be another source of alternate energy, which would just be the use of land and trash to create energy.
My name is Rainy Doe. I'm continuing on counteracting deforestation. First, incentive for preserving and conserving forests. The priority is given to countries who will follow through with regulated conservation techniques and possesses the potential for change. These techniques are, or strategies for incentive is protecting forests and reducing emission from deforestation and degradation. This is also known as REDD. Many environmental organizations and environment has been in favor of the concept of RED, since the main idea of this is to create financial value for the carbon stored forest by offering incentive for developing countries to reduce emission from forest lands. Costa Rica has developed a successful program that has helped restore the forest and fight poverty. The National Conservancy and Conservation of International utilized tax credit and incentive to help reduce the rate of deforestation. And RED is gaining support from many environmental organizations and government in order to develop positive incentive in reducing emission from deforestation. And in this graph is basically a is how land protection can save and even make money. Red is the traditional, which is land is purchased and protected as a park, wilderness area, wildlife refuge, or other open space. And the green is working forest, which is land is purchased and managed as a working forest, generating revenue from timber harvest, recreation, and sales of ecosystem service credits. Um, and education. Um, the human impact is the main cause of biodiversity loss and can be the main solution. Green space is increasing public awareness and understanding of environmental issues through research and education. One organization would be Greenpeace, and what Greenpeace is well known throughout the world with that campaign in the EU to ban the import like illegal timber.
Okay, I'm Jake Newman, and deforestation can provide countless economic opportunities for developing societies and countries. The three reasons I listed were employment generated by deforestation is said to have a multiplier effect, generating anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5 jobs in the economy for every forest job created. Next, the reason would be the forestry products. So this would be any of the products outside of directly cutting wood and the secondary jobs that follow like paper mills and such. And finally, the world population is expected to reach 10 billion by 2050. Therefore, nations need to be prepared for the increased number of people they will need to feed and accommodate. As for my first reason, a vast array of forestry jobs associated with the forestry sector are available and involve many levels of production. This chart right here shows you the jobs come right after. So chopping the wood would be primary, and then between processing the wood, it goes to wood production, paper industries, wood processing, and then goes into be made. The wood goes into be made into furniture, and these are all jobs that are related to forestry and deforestation. These are a couple examples of countries that have used the forestry market and deforestation to help build their economies after they plummeted, such as Japan after World War II, the United States during the Great Depression. They created the Civilian Conservation Corps. India is using the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act right now, which guarantees 100 days of employment for unemployed adults, as well as forestry jobs creation in unindustrialized countries is estimated to generate between 500 and 1,000 jobs a year. My next reason, forest products, which include non-timber resources, play a vital role in improving the overall economy of developing countries. The Food Agricultural Country or Organization of the United States estimate the forest products contribute more than $120 billion in income in the thousands. Also, these sort of forestry products include Brazil nuts, rubber, varnish, fruit, coffees, close to 2/3 of our pharmaceuticals, soybean, etc. And that would be the harvesting of all the non-timber resources. Deforestation allows the country to alleviate its foreign debt by feeding the product to the market, and industrial scale cattle ranching, soybean, and sugar production have allowed the country of Brazil to improve its overall economy due to revenue also. The world population is expected to reach 10 billion by 2050. Therefore, nations need to be prepared and ready to accommodate. Deforestation will allow for expansion of the land area in order for a country to accommodate the basic needs of its citizens. The charts below identify the estimated population growth to the year 2050 in the areas with potential for cropland and land development expansion, so where they can soon begin to deforest those areas as well. In response to the rebuttal, the issue of deforestation is ongoing, with a population that is expected to reach 10 billion by the year 2050, and the country struggling to sustain themselves. The use of deforestation as a means to boost the economy and provide jobs is understandable. However, deforestation, the short-term gains, do not outweigh the long-term consequences, which we're seeing with the carbon dioxide levels in the air and the intensify and increase in climate change around the world. And here's our bibliography with all of our sources.
Presentation. Thank you.